New year, same bullshit. Hi friends, hi, thank you for watching. My name is Mia and this is my virtual vanity, a place where we both love makeup and we're quite critical of it. Today is going to be a bit of a critical video because the makeup industry never fucking stops. Some brands are being weird. Colourpop. I have a video on that, by the way, that you should check out. So it's high time for the first anti-haul of 2021, just as the month of January is dying, just like I am inside in this pandemic. Let's start with Colourpop, aka Color fucking stop, Color get your shit together. If you want more of my thoughts on why I'm no longer buying Colourpop, I do suggest checking out the video I mentioned earlier. But without further ado, let's get into these three collections, like not even products, full-blown collections that I want to roast from them, so we can move on to bigger and not necessarily better things, but things that are at least not Colourpop. Wild Child collection, which has rich chocolate tones, warm neutrals, one eyeshadow palette, two blushes, and some other bullshit. So this collection has come out after several people have complained about the lack of inclusivity and thought put behind their collections. A lot of people say that this is similar to the brown sugar. I feel that brown sugar is different in undertones, different enough that they're entirely different palettes. My problem with this, and I feel weird saying this as you know, a male queen, is it really appropriate that your first collection targeted at people with more melanin be animal, safari, jungle themed? Like, isn't that just a little or am I being too sensitive here? Is it just me? Anyway, the most unfortunate thing about the collection isn't even the name. It's the fact that you are catering this towards people of color, but the blushes won't show up on anyone darker than a medium, which again reiterates the problem that many people had with Colourpop, aka they're only visibly inclusive in their concealer and foundation range, but when it comes to actual powder products and face products, they either discontinue everything that was working or they just lack options altogether. Another mediocre collection from them was the Animal Crossing collection. Now, I have no thoughts regarding how much this fits the game because, and don't cancel me for this, but I've never played Animal Crossing and it's not necessarily the kind of game that appeals to me. It's way too peaceful. If it doesn't have dragons, if it doesn't have fighting, if it doesn't have some sci-fi shit in it, some fantasy, I'm not really into it. So I have no opinion regarding how much it fits the game or not. However, I do have the opinion that most colors there are, again, mid-tones, lighter shades, pastels, things that don't necessarily work on everyone. And you could argue, yeah, Mia, but not everything has to be for everyone. Well, yes, but also it's kind of shitty to leave out more than half of your customer base out of a collection that is meant to be for fans of a particular game. And fans of a particular game, it's not like they necessarily have a certain skin tone, you know? So you're basically leaving out a big part of the fan base for that game that would have loved to have your palette, would have loved to have Animal Crossing products, just because you can't be arsed to make it a little bit more varied, you know? You don't need to have very pigmented shadows in all of the collection, but like, make it at least half though. Besides, not everyone wants pastels either, and they've been on such a long pastel kick. Like, just do some variety, man. Then there's this Melrose collection, which is just, it's pretty aesthetically, but it's just lazy to me. Same two blush tones that they put in every single collection. And these shades are all reuse shades. I don't care if they name them differently. I can tell that most of these shades were used in their previous palettes. So it's just a different rearrangement of what they had previously. And you know what? I get it. I get that you want to use up stock, but maybe fucking chill with releasing something every week. Maybe focus more on quality over quantity, and you wouldn't have so much leftover eyeshadow. Just saying. Natasha Denona Valentines collection mini love. So there is a lipstick, one of her 5-pan eyeshadow palettes, and a blush and highlighting duo. I'm mad at this because I want it. And I need more eyeshadow and more cream products, like I need a bullet in the head. The pink tones in this are really, really pretty, and they are cooler pink tones. So something that I've not particularly seen very much in the past couple of years. Very pretty palette, very complete palette. The color story appeals to me immensely. Do I need more pink tones in my life? I don't think I really do. Not that urgently anyway. Not when I'm stuck inside the house. The blush duo again is really, really pretty, but I wouldn't recommend this if you're working from home like I am, because listen, powder is forever, cream products expire. Cream products do go bad much faster than a powder product. If, however, you're out and about, going to work like you usually do, if you want this, if you have place for it in your collection, if you don't have dupes, you know what, this might be a good purchase. Can we just generally talk about Lunar New Year collections? I love that they're incorporating more holidays, but it feels a bit pandering because they're just incorporating the holidays that make them the most money, which, okay, you know, they're companies, they need to make money, fine, whatever. My issue with this is that most Lunar New Year collections are lazy. They just take the most surface, basic level stereotypes that they have about Asian celebrations and just slap some gold and red on it and call it a day. And it's more complex than that. Like, you can really take inspiration from more specific ways to celebrate, more specific symbols. Instead, we get every single year 3/4 of the stuff is just repackaged bullshit that they had previous years in red and gold packaging. It's lazy, and your customers deserve better for the money that they're paying. I'm not even going to touch Colourpop's Lunar New Year collection, which is like the epitome of this lazy trend of capitalizing on a holiday. But just know that I think it's shit. One that I think was done quite interestingly is the BH Cosmetics one, which has a variety of tones. So you've got warm tones, you've got very spicy, saturated tones, I would say, pops of greens, pops of gold, of yellow. Not necessarily immediately the stereotypical colors that you would think with Lunar New Year. Again, the packaging is festive without being stereotypical. It's got a beautiful color story. So I think that out of all of the Lunar New Year releases that I've seen from mainstream social media brands, I would say that one is the cutest. Like, I don't necessarily mind it. I am personally anti-hauling it because it's a huge palette to have with all of those tones. If you wear those tones, that's fine. But for me, red eyeshadow is not a look that I usually go for. Just too much. Just too much. Cut it in half. I think half of that palette would have been really nice. Alexis, who is a drag queen, a person that is really good at doing drag queen stuff but is quite bad at being a decent human being, came out with their own brand called Senzodium Beauty, and the first release is a brow engineer, so sort of a brow pomade that helps conceal and color and manipulate the brows. And it's also a good way to use to cut the crease or whatever. Very high pigment formula, very covering apparently, and it's in 3 tones. Listen, if this were by any other drag queen, I would be like, yeah, awesome idea, really on brand, but I cannot get behind anything that Alexis has ever done because they have been truly a shitty human being. They have been violently aggressive towards women in the past. They have been fat phobic, aka putting on a fat suit to mock someone. They've gotten into all sorts of drama that I really cannot stand behind. In these times when there are so many people that are coming out with their own brands, I really cannot justify even standing behind the brand of someone that has been so vile on the internet, so publicly, repeatedly, unashamedly. I don't know who needs to tell people on the internet this, but being mean is not a personality trait. Trying to drag other people, being cruel to other people isn't a personality trait. It's just you being an asshole. And Alexis Stone is very much an asshole. Too Faced has come out with the laziest design that I've seen in the recent years. They have collaborated with 5 influencers to redesign their Too Faced mascara. No, not the mascara itself, not the formula, not the wand, not the color, nothing, just the tube. So you're telling me you had to collaborate with people to do what I can do at home with some washi tape? It's just the laziest collector's mentality appeal bullshit that I've ever seen. Nobody needed that. Nobody asked for that. Nobody needs custom mascara tubes. You're going to throw it in the trash in 3 to 6 months anyway. And you know what? I'm also mad because you're asking these influencers to collaborate with you, but you're not truly giving them their flowers. You're not truly giving them something meaningful, something theirs. You're just making them slap a pattern or a pre-existing product that's going to get thrown out anyway. Nobody's going to keep these for a memento's sake unless they're some type of hoarder, in which case, you know, you do you. But you are getting these people involved for what? For what, when you could have just helped them create something that was more beautiful, more uniquely there. Etude House is coming out with these little quads in collaboration with Hershey's Kisses. So, you know, the little chocolates. These palettes though look like the poop emoji. These are really cute if you're into neutrals, if you're into Asian style makeup, which is generally more subtle, less impactful, I would say, less contrasting. But overall, I feel that you can find prettier quads from other Asian makeup brands. Pixi is coming out with a slew of collaborations with things that nobody really cares about and nobody really asked for. Mind Your Own Glow Radiance palette by Denise, 9 glow shades. Cream Rouge palette by Louise Rowe. Shapeshifter palette by Promise, which is a contour, bronzing, powder type of stuff. Tones and Textures eyeshadow palette by Tina Young. Let's address all of these. Lip palette. Who needs a 20-something shades of similarly toned cream products in this current year? It's one thing to have something like, let's say, the Vanessa Myricks cream palettes. They've got different tones, different undertones, different colors. These, however, is just a gradient of pink, pinky mauves, reds. I feel that this palette could be cut 3/4 of it and you would not lose much of anything. It's just too much. You cannot give me, in the year of our Lord 2021, 25 cream shades of the same shit. What is this, cream lipstick Morphe? The brightening and contour palette would work only if you vary a lot from the light to dark in years. So I honestly don't see people using all of the palette unless you change skin tone to the point of almost changing race. Maybe that's just me. You could argue that, oh, you know, I'll just use the shades that don't work for me as an eyeshadow. And to that I ask you, how many eyeshadows do you actually have? Do you seriously not have any tones similar to this? Like, what would this add just for the sake of getting a 9-pan contour palette? Are we not over palettes that don't work like this? Like, aren't we over them yet? Because to me, it's just slap whatever color we have available. Don't even think about a gradient of skin tones. It feels lazy because instead of doing 1 or 2 or 3 palettes to cater to different depths, you just slap them all together. Disclaimer, I don't know any of these people, so this is nothing against them. This is just against Pixi. Somebody at Pixi should have said something. This Glow Radiance palette I feel is the cutest of them all because it's got a variety of tones. It's really, really pretty. It just feels a lot to dump 4 collaborations of objectively huge palettes all at once. Auric by Samantha Ravendhal. Now this is a beautiful, thoughtful brand. Packaging design porn for me. It just appeals to so many of my aesthetics and things that I love. But this brand is way too rich for my blood. And you know, that's fine. She wanted a luxury brand, she made herself a luxury brand. Girl boss shit. I'm not going to purchase anything from it because with international shipping, that luminizer, so the only thing that I want would be like $60. No. No. Just no. I just want you all to think very well if you are buying this because you think you're going to get use out of it, or if you're buying this just because you want to support Sam. Because the easiest way to support a creator is sharing their content, watching their ads. You don't necessarily need to buy their brand, you don't necessarily need to buy their merch. If you don't have the money for it, nobody's going to fault you for not buying Auric by Samantha Ravendhal. NYX Cosmetics has decided to make all of our eyes bleed for Valentines. They've got this But First to Me, Love Me collection with an eyeshadow palette, some lip products, but I just want to talk about the eyeshadow palette. How dare NYX come with such a pretty color story and put it in that eye-bleeding packaging? It's just so ugly. It's just the contrast between all of these beautiful shades and the hot MS Paint Baby's First Valentine's collection pink for me. It's the clunky 3-way packaging, triptych style for me. It's the heart clip art and the generic font for me. You're telling me that NYX, multi-million-dollar drugstore brand, could not afford getting a graphic designer that figured out that hot pink and hot red do not really go well together in eyeshadow palette packaging? It's so ugly to me. Like, I love me some color contrast, but this is not color contrast. This is just making my eyes bleed. It's drowning out everything that is beautiful about this color story and washing it out against that very strong, very saturated background. Like, I like this color story a lot. I'm not going to buy the palette solely because that packaging is so goddamn ugly. It's an assault to my senses. They should pay me for having to look at it. Now I know you've been waiting for this because I mentioned MAC, and I cannot mention MAC without this. I wouldn't call it a collection. Yeah, I really wouldn't. MAC with Sims. The laziest collaboration in the history of collaboration, the most obvious cash grab, the audacity. The way that corporations really think that we are stupid and blind. Why does MAC think we're dumb? Like, why does MAC think that we do not have Google? Why does MAC think that we cannot look through the former releases? The way that this collection showed that they do not give one single shit about their customers that like The Sims. They're like, ah, fuck it, gamers, what do they know about makeup? They just see The Sims and buy it. Like, they're not even real gamer girls anyway if they buy makeup from us. You're telling me you decided to collaborate with one of the biggest gaming IPs, a game that is beloved by millions. You could have done something great with it that appealed to both the gamers and you know, other people alike. And what you decided to do was grab a palette that was probably expired in your warehouse, sitting there collecting dust because nobody wanted it in the first place, slapped some blue and the Sims logo on it, and did not even bother changing the names. And you did not think this would get talked about. The most insulting thing to me is not even the laziness, is the fact that they assumed that we are stupid. They assumed that we would not do our research. They assumed that they can just pull this shit without changing names or layout or anything really. Like, truly, if they would have swapped the names and 1 or 2 shades, just swap 2 shades from that palette, put a green and a blue, and they would have been fine. But it would have been the lowest effort possible for this collaboration. But no, they went like, you know what? We really do want to invent a new circle of hell regarding makeup collaborations. We just want to go below the sea level. We just want to fuck up this collaboration so bad. We just want to ruin our reputation as a stable, no-nonsense makeup brand. We just want to fuck up the beauty community. We just want to get featured in anti-hauls. Let's just put the lowest effort possible into it. Like, this truly shows that some makeup brands are led by 50-something white men that do not care about makeup, that do not care about the internet, that are not on par with the trend. It is truly outstanding to me that anyone working in the makeup industry would sign off of this and say, yeah, no, that's fine. Nobody will figure it out. I don't even have words in English for it. Corporate bullshit. Truly corporate bullshit. Tarte is coming out with a huge neutral palette, which looks pretty decent. Actually, has rosy tones, medium tones, some cooler mattes, some warmer mattes, some brownie mattes. This is theoretically fine. I am anti-hauling this because it's too big. It's just nothing new. It's just all Tarte palettes that they previously came out put into one. So there is that. So Hourglass has the audacity to say that they've been listening to their consumer base and that they made a palette for deeper complexions. That's a lie. Everyone has been calling them out about how this is just repackaged shades that they've had previously, and this still does not work as well for medium to deep skin tones. Tina from the Fancy Face has a great video on it. I suggest watching that if you want to hear it directly from someone with more melanin than I do. It's just nothing but the audacity. It's nothing but the veiled racism for me. Because at this point, when you continuously refuse to make products for a certain subset of the population, it's clear that you do not view them as your customers for various reasons. It's clear that you do not want to make makeup for them. It's clear that you are a white woman only brand. That is kind of disgusting to me in 2021. And I think they should be dragged more for this. It's just the lying for me, the disrespect for me, the thinking we're stupid and we are gonna figure it out for me. Honestly, it would have been better if they just kept to radio silence. Because at this point, not only did they insult their customers of color, they also insulted everyone's intelligence. 2 for the price of 1. Fuck you, Hourglass. Okay, we're gonna end on a funny note. Wishful, which is Huda Beauty's skincare brand, came out with a skincare product called Thirst Trap Juice. This is just the most disgusting Hello Kitty name I've ever heard. This is the name that someone came out with after they spent one too many nights on TikTok. Why would anyone want to put on their face a product called Thirst Trap Juice? It sounds like genital fluids. It does, like thirst trap juice. Do I have my mind in the gutter? Because it does. It sounds like sexual fluids. That's probably someone's kink though. Anyway, this has been it. This has been my anti-haul for 2021 January. Honestly, more stuff could have been anti-hauled, but I don't have the time nor the camera battery to cover all of these stupid fucking releases. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to leave your thoughts down in the comments and have a wonderful evening, morning, second breakfast, third lunch, or whatever it is you're from. Bye!